Welcome to my kitchen. Today we are going to be cooking something. I am very excited about this meal. It's one of my favorites. It is something that actually is delicious and it's easy to make. So it really works well for us. So what we are making today is a barbecue beef casserole. And it's really easy to make and you don't need a whole lot of ingredients, which makes it even better because it's one of those things that you might actually have the stuff in your house already. And even if you don't, you might be able to make it with just some standard ingredients. So it's actually awesome. Let's get to it and see what ingredients we have and then we'll get to cooking. So we don't actually need a whole lot for this recipe. We need ground beef. We need green peppers. Now the recipe also does call for onions. However, Jason doesn't like onions, so I just, instead of putting 1 onion and 1 green pepper, I just do 2 green peppers. It calls for a can of corn. So if you remember my food haul, I actually said I bought it just for a recipe because I don't normally have it. This is the recipe. Needs diced tomatoes. We need barbecue sauce. And we need a box of Jiffy corn mix. And that's, like I said, you might have most of the stuff in your house. The Jiffy corn mix, if you don't have it, you could make the cornbread just out of cornmeal and your normal way. But that's all it takes. So today we are actually going to start with our ground beef. We're going to turn the burner on, make sure I put the back burner on. And we are going to just brown our beef to start with. Now, while my beef is browning, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to take care of our green peppers. Going to cut the tops off. And I'm going to have a dog here very shortly who's going to want them. Some green peppers. And I save the insides for the bird because, well, the bird likes the seeds. So the bird will be happy tonight. And I'm just going to go ahead and we are going to chop these up nicely. I already have a dog who's sitting here trying to nose her way in. So let's give her a piece of this one. Here's Ozo. Zoe loves green peppers. Honestly, my animals are amazing. My animals really like healthy foods. Zoe loves her green peppers. She loves bananas. They all love bananas. Zoe loves, they all really love green zucchini too. So it's actually crazy how much they like the vegetables. They should all be taking a lesson from their book. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut them. I'm cutting them into roughly small little bite sizes. Oops, that one I didn't get through the whole way. Nothing special, just a little bit of here and there. And we're just going to chop them up the rest of the way. And you would do the onions the same way. You would want them in roughly bite-sized pieces if you were doing onions. And I would recommend it. It does taste good with onions. But if you have somebody in your house that doesn't like onions, do green peppers. If you have somebody in your house that doesn't like green peppers, do more onions. Tailor it to fit what your family likes. So coming back over here, you can actually see that my beef is becoming nicely browned. I'm just browning it up. Just browning it up so it's nice and cooked. And I had a couple pieces, I thought it was totally thawed, but there was a couple pieces of still frozen meat. So it is taking a little bit longer for my meat to brown. There, give us some light. Once your meat is mostly cooked, you're going to go ahead and we're going to add in our vegetables. We're just going to cook these a little bit till they're mostly tender. And at this point, you still want to leave whatever grease is in there because, you know, that grease can actually help cook your vegetables. We will drain anything later. So we're just going to let those cook until they're nice and tender. We're also going to go ahead and add in our corn at this time. I did drain the corn. And so technically, I guess, now that I think about it, you could actually just use frozen corn if that's what you have. And we're going to take in our diced tomatoes, which are also drained. We're just going to mix that around. Let those vegetables cook in. Now, look how brilliantly colored that is. That is just health right there. You're not going to have to cook this very long. You just want your green peppers to not be like terribly tough and hard. You want them to be a little bit tender. So once your meat is done, you can actually, you see I have a lot of liquid in there. I'm going to go ahead and drain that out. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my heat, but at this point I am going to turn on my oven to 350. And I'm going to add in a cup of barbecue sauce. I'm just going to stir that cup of barbecue sauce into the mixture. Sometimes I don't think that there's enough barbecue sauce, so I do add a little extra to taste. I like it to have that tang, so it's all good. Once you have that done, you're going to take a baking dish that is prepared. You are going to just simply pour your mixture into your baking dish. And you can see I didn't get a lot of my liquid out. I should have done a little bit more. It'll cook out. We're good. So I have my food here, and I'm going to take my box of Jiffy corn mix, and we are going to make the Jiffy corn mix exactly like the instructions say. Like I said, if you have your cornbread, you can go ahead and use that if you want. But I'm just going to use the mix because it's easy. So the box calls for 1 egg. I'll do that, and then I'm going to pop it into my compost bin. And we're just going to add in 1/3 of the milk. And we're just going to beat that in, just like you would any cornbread mix. So you can see you could make this if I had corn in my freezer right now. I could do the corn. We could do everything and have this totally from scratch, totally healthy, totally organic, if you wanted to. Once your cornbread is mixed, you're just going to go ahead and you're going to put it on top of your mixture here. Zoe is tired of waiting. She wants to go outside to play, so she keeps ringing her doorbell, but I know she doesn't have to go potty because we just were outside. So now we're just going to bake that for 20 to 25 minutes until the cornbread is nicely cooked and brown, and then we'll be ready to eat, and I'll bring you back when it's time to eat. Dinner is delicious. Lots of yummy vegetables, some meat, and a little bit of cornbread. And then it calls for 1/3 of milk. So I'm just going to add that in. Oh, maybe not.